like yourself? Statistically, probably not. And because of this, we often depend on other people to know how we should feel about ourselves. And this system does not work. Comparison is the thief of joy. Whether we're comparing ourselves to people we look up to and feeling bad about ourselves, or we're comparing ourselves to people we look down on and feeling good about ourselves. It's stupid, it's unhealthy, and we all do it. How do we solve it? Therapy, probably, but this video is free, and I've taken the liberty to jot down a few notes on the subject, so we're just gonna try this instead. Have you ever been on Instagram and just immediately had a terrible experience? An old classmate of yours is getting married. An influencer who is a year younger than you, by the way, is at an exclusive event. Or some friends of yours that you actually haven't seen in a while, so it's not like you're super close, but they're out at like a dive bar with some people that you don't know that well but want to be friends with, but you're not there. And sure, I guess technically I've never had a desire to hang out with you or these people in that setting, but now that I'm seeing it having played out and you guys are smiling, yeah, I want to be there, so what? You don't even know what a dive bar is. You just know that I'm not invited for some reason because I guess I'm not in the circle. I guess, but I'm cool. I'm around. I'm on your close friends. What does that mean to you? That doesn't mean anything to you? Fine. I don't care. I'm sure we've all been there, and I didn't just describe any super specific scenarios that I've been through recently. That's something we've all done. We have the ability to compare ourselves to people like never before. Go on your phone right now, and in 5 minutes, you can find somebody who appears to be having a better life than you. And although they may not be doing something intentionally malicious, there's something about the constant glorification of quit your 9-to-5 and getting material possessions and selling a course that's like what, 80% chance of scam, right? Has anybody tried? They're taking your money. All of that can make you feel small because they seem to be doing great in life. What am I doing? Or have you seen like an influencer or creator where their whole thing is, I have money? Whether they're doing it intentionally or it's the undertone of the whole video, like the message is, this is entertaining to you poors because you'll never have it like I do. Now, I'm not saying that they all look down on me. Some of them are very chill and very nice and teach about money and spending and how to hustle and do better for yourself, and that's awesome. But the idea is that this is an interesting video because it's a spectacle. The lifestyle that I lead is both appealing and unattainable to most people. Now, some people will watch that and not care. Some people will watch that and think, that's true, I should hustle and do better in my life. And that's awesome. Don't quote me on saying don't work hard, that's a good thing to do. But there are some people who will watch that and just feel bad because realistically that's something they could never attain for themselves. The idea of comparing ourselves to people on social media is just riddled with inaccuracies. Now, the following statement is so obvious, it feels dumb to point out, but I feel it needs to be done. Most of life is mundane most of the time for most people. You wake up, you do boring stuff for 5 days out of 7, and then maybe during the end of the week, you calm down with 1 or 2 relaxing things, and that's it. That's the life course of like, I don't know, 50% of Americans? I don't know. But that's not what you see on your feed. You see day after day, in and out without rest, young people and pretty people and more successful people doing impressive and cool and fun things over and over and over, which just leads you to believe, wow, everyone must be doing this except for me. Even though you also understand that most people work 9-to-5 and most people are in school. Like you understand both realities and you somehow think both are true. I do it too, I'm not judging you, I'm just saying this is dumb. But you take this all in and you reach the conclusion that everybody is having more fun than you. And as much as this may feel the case, it isn't the case. For example, the next time a friend of yours pops up on your feed and it looks like they're having fun constantly all the time, go on their page, look at when they posted this recent post and when was the last time they posted their second recent post. Was that English? Yeah, that's English, yeah. Because in my experience, only about 5% of your friends, typically young women in their 20s going through their quote healing era, are posting multiple times within a relatively short time span. The rest of them are only posting like, I don't know, every few months, maybe even once a year. I don't know, they're not on it that much. And when you check the date between posts, you can realize, wow, this person also has long stretches of time between post-worthy events. Maybe I'm not a loser and I go out a normal amount of times and I'm doing okay, because you probably are, all right? You're good. I used to think that when people posted on Instagram, they were only posting their most meaningful moments in life. Every time I saw them hanging out as a group and smiling and laughing, these were their cherished memories, their everything moments. So I would never post because I reasoned, well, today was cool, but it wasn't like that awesome. Everybody's leading such meaningful lives and I'm doing nothing. I must be a loser. Then I slowly started to realize, yeah, no, people just post things because it's fun. Okay, yeah, sure, like weddings and baby pictures, I guess, are meaningful, whatever, but most times, people just thought they were cool pics and they wanted to share them with other people. Why are you putting so much meaning into this? Just post. I needed to stop assuming that everything everyone else did on social media was far more meaningful than anything I did. Because typically, it's not. You know, everybody's just trying to have fun and look cool. You can do that and be lying. You could feel terrible and not be having fun at all. Nobody's gonna know. Great. Seeing as how we've tackled the main source of our problems, we can go on with the rest of our life, no longer having to worry about this concept. We did it, guys. Yay! Oh. No. Have you ever had a friend that's perfect? Isn't that annoying? Like, obviously, they're your friends, so you're happy that they're doing good stuff. Like, that's amazing. Good for you. But also, stop doing it so much. You're starting to make me feel bad. Like, I feel some type of way in here. Like, and I know that I'm wrong for that. I can mentally, intellectually understand that these are wrong feelings to have. But emotionally, I can't get rid of them. Now, this is typically the part of the video where I relate a personal and funny anecdote that we can laugh about, and it relates to the theme of the video. However, there is no way that I'm going to publicly and willingly get on the internet and say that the people I am friends with currently, their successes have made me feel bad. So instead, we are going to roll them all into one composite fictional character so I can tear them to shreds and not feel guilty. This is Amanda, and Amanda is the worst. As I was writing this, I had this thought, doesn't that sound like a Nick show from like the late 2000s? Amanda is the worst. It would get canceled after one season, but I could totally see it. Now, in reality, Amanda, she's a great girl. You'd love her. She's funny, she's creative, she always seems to have her stuff together. You know, she's a very emotionally healthy person, and we care about each other as friends should. But after a certain amount of time, I found myself thinking about Amanda a lot. How does she seem to have everything put together? She has great friends, she goes out every weekend, she has a job and a car and a budget. Like, who is this? Was I living up to the standard that Amanda set? If she made a new friend, I needed to make a new friend. If she got a promotion at work, I needed to get a promotion at work. I heard she just moved out. Why do I still live with my parents? So because of all of this, I came to resent Amanda. And why? Because she was putting effort into her life? I guess, I don't know. Like, I understand that Amanda is a great person. She's a good friend, and I'm glad she's in my life. But there is something that just irks me about how good she is. Could you be a little bit worse? You're starting to threaten me here. All that being said, if any of my friends are watching this, she doesn't represent you. I'm talking about a different hypothetical Amanda. Yeah, it feels so childless, but you can't seem to shake the feeling. Amanda is doing better than you. And for some messed up reason, that hurts. Because this is crossing a line of obsession. You are obsessed with this person. Did Amanda get a promotion? I should get a promotion. Did Amanda get a new outfit? I should get a new outfit. Did she total her car? Am I kinda happy about that? No, yes, no. Okay, maybe not that extreme. Or, you know, maybe more extreme. Some people really don't like their friends. You've allowed your worth and happiness as a person to be dependent on the actions of a completely different person. Their wins are your failures and their failures are your wins. This is so weird of a dynamic to have because, again, isn't Amanda your friend? What I think is going on here is that we're feeling threatened. You know, like, I'm supposed to be the main character. I'm in charge of this story. I'm the one who's supposed to have fun things and cool people wander in. I'm supposed to get into wacky situations and hijinks are supposed to ensue. But in the end, I'm supposed to come out on top and everything's supposed to work out for me. That's supposed to be happening to me. What are you doing here? I'll tell you what you're doing here. You're trying to cramp my style and I don't appreciate it. Like, just leave us alone, all right? This is my story. Why are you here? Everybody already thinks you're more interesting than me. Wait, why did I say that? Wait, do I feel that way about myself? Oh no! Do you like yourself? Because if you don't, that's probably where we need to start. It's a lot easier to use other people as a barometer for how we should feel about ourselves because trying to learn how you feel about yourself is a lot of work. It's a lot easier to let a bunch of other people to determine that for you. Case in point, do you remember in first grade how for some reason being able to run faster than anybody else made you better as a human being? But that's not even considering if you're the fastest. If you're the fastest in the class, nobody can tell you anything. For like 3 minutes during recess, everyone would just treat you like you were cool, so you would just feel cool. And as we all know, cool people have happy and fun and successful lives, so you can just trust everybody else's evaluation of you because their opinion holds more weight than yours. You don't even have to think about your opinion because everybody says you're cool, so you must be cool and you're gonna be happy and fun and successful. So just don't think about it, you're fine. But do you really think happiness and contentment as a person comes from being a little bit faster than Jason? This was a really good metaphor, which I will be explaining now. It is so easy to think that you'll be okay as long as you're better than the people around you. It means that your self-esteem and value as a person is dependent on the validation of other people. Now that may come easy to you if you're like good at stuff, but does that description sound good or healthy? And also, what if you're not good at stuff? What if Jason takes that loss personally, does some training, and comes back next week and runs the mile a little— children aren't running a mile— runs that 100-meter sprint from the grass to the blacktop a little bit faster than you, then your career is over. If one day, for whatever reason, people stop giving you praise and validation, then everything you feel about yourself that you think you're secure in may be gone. Meaning you're putting yourself in a spot where feeling okay as a person is completely in the hands of other people. And believe me, that's not a spot you want to be in. Also, think about this. As unbelievable as this may seem, there is somebody out there who is feeling bad about themselves because they're comparing themselves to you. I don't know, maybe it's a stranger on the internet, maybe it's one of your closest friends. The point is, there is something that you do that that person can't, and they are kind of jealous about it. How does that feel? Does it make you feel good? Come on, you can be honest. We're all friends here. Nobody's gonna know. Yeah, come on. Really, though, how does that feel? To know that somebody out there is really jealous of you and that they think that you're better than them. So really, I mean, aren't you a little bit better than them? And doesn't that give you reason to feel good about yourself? Think about it. I mean, I don't know. Because if that's true, I think we both know that's bad, right? What's something that you're good at? That you're really good at? You know it's like a craft or a hobby. People have complimented you on it. You kind of, in your head, kind of hold up your worth to how good you can do this craft. Like if somebody does something impressive, you're like, okay, sure, they did that, but can they do this craft that I do? No, I don't think so. What's that thing for you? Because I hate to break it to you, but comparatively, you probably suck at it. As gross and upsetting as the following message is, it is unfortunately very true. You are average. By definition, most of us are average. You are indeed like other girls. You don't do things that extraordinarily well. You're not different. There exists a person with all of your good skills and habits, and they're better at them. And beyond them, there are other people who have reached levels of success and prominence that you could only dream of doing so. You will never catch up to them. Sometimes I think it would be so much easier to just live on Earth alone because then you would have no pressure to try and be better than anyone else. You could just be you with no strings attached. But we don't live alone. You live in a sea of other people's lives, each of which has at least one facet of life where they are more successful than you. If you decide to spend your life focusing on those individual facets that literally each and every person will beat you at, you will drown. So let's learn how to swim! Am I getting better at script writing? Because I feel like that was good. Was that good? The whole swimming analogy? I liked it. Did you like it? I thought it was good. Now, as much as we've vilified it so far, comparison, when used correctly, isn't always a bad thing. I heard Struthless put it a good way.
Comparison is just one of the many tools that we use to understand the world around us, and in and of itself, it is not harmful. If I take my hands and compare them, this one can draw, this one can't. Which one do I use to draw? The one that can. Thanks, comparison.
I remember this one time I was hanging out with Amanda and she told me she was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and my response to that was, wow! That's wow! Yeah! Why did I feel that way? Because I hadn't posted a video in like 5 months. So to see her about to do the thing that I've said I've wanted to do for such a long time, it reminded me, hey, bro, you're not doing what you say you want to be doing. It was painful. but it was good pain. Because look at me now! Because comparison, when used as a tool, can notify you the things that you actually want to be doing. It's a good way of knowing if you're being a little bit too easy on yourself. If you see other people succeeding at the things you want to be doing, it's like, hey bro, do it too. You can do it too, do it. Like for example, if a friend posted about how they got a new house and you started to feel some type of way about it, hey bro, I think you want a house. Or at the very least, you feel that society says that you should get a house. Either way, go deal with that. But really, while we're on that subject, do you really want that thing, or do you just want like the glam part of it? Like getting back on the house thing, let's say that you say you want to get a house. Cool. But you realize that means you'll have to deal with an HOA now. You have a mortgage, you have to pay for home insurance, you'll have to probably pay for repairs, you'll have to care for a home, and you can't just uproot your life and go live in a van and travel across the country because you have bills now. Now, if you're cool with all of that, then more power to you, but just understand that if you say you want a house, that means you're accepting the mundane and annoying bits of it. But that goes with everything in life. Again, most of life is mundane and boring. Also, when it comes to skills and like habits and comparing ourselves with other people, we tend to immediately compare ourselves to the best of the best. I can't play like LeBron, I'll never be good. What a stupid sentence you just said. Like, yeah, obviously, dude. You want to improve at a skill, so you immediately compare yourself to one of the greatest of all time? Someone who has been honing their skill and their craft for literally decades, if not their entire lives? Dude, you've been at this for like 3 weeks. Calm down. Like in the beginning stages of literally anything, you are supposed to be bad. I am saying this with such vigor because it took me so long to realize that myself. You've got to learn to start comparing yourself to people who also kind of suck at this right now. I.e., look at other people who are beginning. Maybe you're a little bit better than them, maybe you're a little bit worse than them, but either way, the gap between you and your opponent, I guess, has been a lot shrunken. It's no longer you versus LeBron James, it is now you versus that kid you played one time in your high school gym. Like, yeah, maybe he was like a little bit better than you, but you can close that gap a lot easier. Because in doing this, it's really not about the comparison of it all. It doesn't really matter who's better than you or who's worse than you. It's just about believing that you can get better and that it's not hopeless for you. You're learning to be patient with yourself as you develop skills. That will help you in literally everything, and I'm trying to do it myself. We're doing this together, okay? To compare is to live a life of competition. And in a competition of someone's strengths versus your weaknesses, you will always lose. If you start thinking to yourself, wow, look at Amanda. She has so many friends. I don't have nearly as many friends. Okay, you just stated a boring fact. What was that? Like, obviously, she wins that, I guess. Cool, great. What is that? What are we talking about right now? Like, you've just taken a strength that she has and put it up against a weakness that you don't like. Yeah, obviously she's better than you, I guess. Like, what you just said was always going to be a bummer. There's no getting around that. Instead, you could think, wow, Amanda has so many friends. I'm gonna talk to her and see how she meets all these people and what she does to form connections with them. Doesn't that sound like a much happier and healthier and Disney Channel ending? Something that we all want in our lives, right? Go do that. You have to realize that anytime you're comparing yourself to anybody else, it's a complete apples to oranges comparison. Or in this case, because my household is currently out of apples, it's an onions to oranges comparison. The point still stands, stay with me. You are two completely different people with two different parents and two different upbringings and two different backgrounds and cultures and ages and differences in opinions and interests and likes and dislikes. Frankly, it's pretty cool that you even met each other and that you formed a bond together. But that bond does not mean we are the same people. We never have been and we never will be. I read this quote on, well, it was Reddit, but that doesn't mean it's less profound. It's hard to have an objectively true understanding of another person's reality. This orange will never understand what it means to be an onion, and that's okay. You just need to accept that you're two different entities. You can't compare the two because it just doesn't line up, but you don't need to. It's fine. People like oranges and onions for completely different reasons. The metaphor has come full circle. Do you get it now? There is joy in watching other people succeed. So in the end, as it is with surprisingly most issues, you just need to learn how to be happy and secure. Easier said than done, but once you do it, comparison doesn't have as much power over you. Because we use comparison as a tool to know how we should feel about ourselves. But if we already know how we feel about ourselves, we won't need it anymore. You won't see another person's success as your failures or their failures as your success, because you already know what you are. And once you reach that point, life becomes a lot sweeter. Sweeter? Like an onion. I was kind of hoping that I would ad-lib something on the spot and improv a sentence that kind of ties it all together. I couldn't do it. So we're just gonna stop here, I guess.